On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, the $500 Porsche 944 gets some major sound system upgrades. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Chair Go, and today we are here with the $500 Porsche 944, and yes, I know everybody wants to hear like a total price update on what this thing's cost me so far. That's coming. We'll make a whole episode where we go over all the money I've spent, and it's actually been quite a bit so far. But today we have an issue. As you saw in the detail video I showed you, the surrounds were toast on these speakers. So I ordered some speakers, and I can't wait to hear if the old Blaupunk, or however you want to say Blaupunk, you know, the old Porsche head unit sounds with some good speakers. So what we're gonna do is pull the speaker grills off and stick in some speakers I just bought. I'll throw a link to these in the description, of course. And what we have here are Kicker CS series. We went for the upgrade, not even the DS. We went all the way to the C line here. 4x6s. So hopefully these bolt right in. The speaker size guide says this is the correct speaker, but if you've ever put speakers in a car, you know how that goes. It always says the speaker bolts in and then it doesn't. You end up needing an adapter ring or something like that. Well, hopefully today we luck out. It looks like it's just these 4 screws on each side up front. Then I don't even know where the rears are. I think I know where the rears are now. It appears they're right there. So that is an insane amount of work to get off. It looks like most of the plastic has to come out of the back. I guess we'll start with the front speakers. They look like they're relatively easy, and go from there. Well, look at that. The grill screws appear to bolt in the speaker. This thing should just fall out. Look at the surround. It's all laying in there. Just the remnants of what was once a speaker. This is like a rubber boot. It's incredibly nice to keep the speaker protected from moisture there. Went ahead and opened up our box of speakers. Man, those look nice. I'm pretty happy about this. And it's got a butyl surround or something like that, instead of the foam that always just falls apart. Hopefully this holds up over time. Just a well-built speaker here. And even better, it just plugs in. Check that out. Even the factory connectors are the correct size. Well, that took like 1 minute. The grill protrudes a little bit, but hey, the speaker looks like it's sealed up, which is all we need is, that baffle that the door speaker opening creates right there, and it's mounted solidly. I'm good with that. It actually looks kind of cool. It's, next up, it just needs a little ring of white LEDs to provide like a soft glow. All right, I'm not gonna do that, obviously. Time for number 2. As soon as you get the grill off, pieces of the surround start falling all over the place. Try to get a bunch of those out of there, and then we can just flip this back, peel, and get the surround out of there again. Oh man, original speakers made in Germany. Blaupunk. And putting the new speaker in takes 1 second. Slide on the spade terminals. And we'll try to get these spacers back behind there where they belong as well. All right, both front speakers are in, and I couldn't resist. I was going to finish all 4 before I did this, but this is a cheap Bluetooth cassette adapter that I also just found on Amazon. I'll throw a link in the description below. And this should give me some audio quality out of this. This old Porsche head unit setup here, it actually uses one of those windshield antennas, and it sounds absolutely horrible. I mean, it is unbearably bad. And I went ahead and bought one of these cassette adapters with built-in Bluetooth so we could get some good audio into the thing. Also has a little USB cable to charge the cassette, because of course you have to charge it. I wanted one that didn't have any wires that came out of it, but at the same time this one has a microphone, so you can actually make hands-free calls while it's in there. So cassette adapters in, let's get this thing fired up wherever the key went. Well, I grew up with the old school cassette adapters, but apparently this one you actually have to turn on. So you hold the microphone button on the Bluetooth microphone there until it goes into pairing mode, old school pairing mode here, blue and red LED. Headset, pairing headset. Boom, it is paired. Let's send a little bit of music through there. All right, we're playing some random song called Pineapple Dance. I've never heard this. Stick the cassette in here. It appears we just have like a thunderstorm and the cassette doesn't play. And unfortunately, I don't have one of those cleaning cassettes you can slide in your cassette player because it's 2020 and people don't have those. The Bluetooth part works. It does play and pause. And I've got the volume all the way up on my phone. Just kidding! It works! We got the 80s beats. Okay, you can still hear all the noise from the rear speakers because they're not fixed yet, but... yeah! The volume control on this head unit's been really struggling, but I've been working it back and forth like basically non-stop since we bought it because I knew it was bad, well, full of dirt, you know, so it was very scratchy, and so were the bass, treble, and balance controls, so I've been running them all back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I think I've started to work most of the dirt or corrosion off the contacts. Volume control's pretty quiet and smooth now, and the other controls are all working like they're supposed to, so I think we've got a system again. I'm ready to go for a drive. Let's get these rear speakers in. Now it's time to hop in the back, so flip the seat forward. And we've got the back seat down already. You kind of have to switch back and forth with this, I think. I pulled this off because you just pull to get it off. It covers up the latch for the seat there. Screw, a bunch of pull fasteners we got to get off there, and a gigantic like number 3 Phillips or something right there. Anyway, I'm gonna start pulling these out. Shouldn't take long, and then hopefully this panel just moves out of the way. Obviously we can't take it off because the seatbelt's gonna hold it in there, and I do not need to take the seatbelt off. This may be one of the most annoying speaker installs I've ever done in my life. You have to unglue the leather from all of the metal and from the other leather in the car, just so you can get this thing to a point, well, that won't work, where you can start to actually pull the cover off here. But hey, I did win in the end. The panel is off, and there's our speaker. Time to grab the drill, pull out those 4 screws, and we should be done, ready to put this thing back on. Unfortunately, the leather goes underneath all of these seals and the door sill trim here, so there's a lot of reassembly to put that back together. Oh, that's a terrible Halo theme song. Anyway, look at that. It looks so good. I'm super excited. I checked it too, it sounds good. Well, it took a long time to get all that leather back in there, but it's done. It's all tucked back underneath the seals, and door molding's back on. All the fasteners are in. We've got a new speaker. Now, to repeat, you gotta take your time on these because you don't want to tear the leather and all that fun stuff, so you should plan on quite a bit more time for the back than the rear. Probably 30-45 minutes a panel for the entire disassembly, swapping the speaker, putting it all back. And take your time for sure. It's all chipboard wrapped in leather, so I wouldn't exactly call it robust. There we go. The last speaker is in, as you can see right there. Now, I just gotta take all the time to put that trim back on. It's gonna take a second. But once that's wrapped up, I can't wait to fire this thing up and do a little listing in here. Still can't really drive it though, because we're waiting on that plastic cup. I've talked to a whole bunch of people trying to get this here. It's coming from Germany. It's taking too long, but it's that little plastic cup right there that keeps the whole thing from driving. I know it looks like there's a bunch of fluid in there, but there is basically nothing in the transmission. The Porsche 944 system is done, and it's time to test it out. Come with me. Here we go. All power. Oh, better. There we go. Not super great, it can't play really low, but you can listen to it now. Right there, it's like perfect. Head unit doesn't have the power to run these things too loud, but it definitely works, and it's a massive, massive upgrade. This really wasn't bad for 100 in upgrades. Somehow the CS were super cheap when I bought them, and I think it was like 109 out the door, so massive improvement for not too much money. That's like, you know, everything on this has been really cheap so far. $100 speakers, $215 tires. There will be a whole video of what I've spent, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. I would be out driving this right now if the transmission was done. Unfortunately, I think I'm like 3 weeks out on the trans. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjargo.com where you can get cool shirts like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Now I can get back to the detail and ceramic coating because we got to make sure that detail looks good. This thing works really well for being super cheap.